So you've got Google Analytics installed on your website and you're bringing in all this information about things like page views. But say you want to get a little bit more granular and track something like the click of a specific link on your website. Well, in order to do that, you need to harness the power of Google Tag Manager in conjunction with Google Analytics. And I'm going to show you just how to do that in this video. So we've got our Google Analytics set up on our website, but now we want to go ahead and create an account with Google Tag Manager. It's very simple. You click Create Account. We're going to enter the name of our business and the URL, and then we're going to select Web. That's going to create our account. We'll select Yes, and then our workspace should be ready to go. We've got to install some new scripts on our website and that will replace the Google Analytics script. So we're using Webflow. So we're going to jump into the project settings under custom code. And this is our Google Analytics code. We're going to replace that right now. If we jump over here, this one goes in the head. And this one goes in the body. Down here. We're going to save changes, and then we're going to jump. First thing we're going to do, once that's done, we'll close this out. We now have access to our workspace. This is where we're going to be able to set up all the tags that we need. For the purposes of this video, the first thing we need to do is set up our Google Analytics config tag. So go back to Analytics. We are going to select Data Streams. And then once that opens up, we'll click on the stream that we set up in our last video and copy that measurement ID. All right, now jump back into Google Tag Manager. We're going to click New Tag. This is where we're going to set up our GA4 config tag. So click Tag Configuration. We're going to select GA4 configuration and then just paste that measurement ID in there. For the trigger of what should trigger this tag is a page view, every single page view. So we'll just click All Pages, Page View, and then click Save. Now, Google Tag Manager has two options here, Preview and Submit. We're going to click on Preview, which opens up kind of like a debug window, where it's going to tell us which tags have fired. You just need to enter in your URL, click Connect. All right, so now it's loaded, and you can see it's loaded our website, but then it says GTM debug. So this is like a debug version. Basically, on this other tab that's open, it's reading which tags have fired. In this case, it says that our GA4 config tag did fire correctly. So we're good to go. We can close this out. We can close this out. And then back in Google Tag Manager, we're going to click Submit. So every time you add something new, kind of like with Webflow, we had to publish our changes. It's the same kind of thing in Google Tag Manager. So we're just going to say that we added the GA4 config tag. We're going to click Publish. Now that's going to publish. Just for a good measure, what I like to do is go back into our website. We have Google Tag Assistant Chrome extension installed. So if I click on this, you can see it says Google Tag Manager there. What we're not seeing is the Google Analytics part of it. So what we need to do is make sure that we published our changes. That's something I always forget to do with Webflow. When I'm in the designer, I remember to do it, but for some reason, when I'm working in the settings, I don't do it. So you got to click Publish here, and then we'll go back and refresh that page in a moment. All right, so that's published. We're going to jump back over here, refresh. Now we'll open up that Google Tag Assistant, and you'll see it says Google Tag Manager and the global site tag. So this is our Google Analytics. So we've got both of those showing up now, which is perfect. Now let's jump back into Google Tag Manager. Now, why did we set all this up? If all we're going to do is have our Google Analytics config tag running, then we could have just left Google Analytics. But the point of this was so that we could track specific button or link clicks. That's the reason why we wanted it on this website. So what we're going to do is we get a lot of, or this business, I should say, gets a lot of traffic from Instagram, specifically for our piñatas. So we're going to, on this button here where it says check out our Instagram, we want to track all the clicks on that button. So in order to track those clicks, there's several different ways that we can do that. And I'm going to show you in Google Tag Manager how that all works. first things first, since this is a new account, we want to click on variables. There's only a handful of them that are enabled by default, which are event, page host name, page path, page URL, or refer. Most of these kind of refer to page views. We're going to click configure because we're looking to track clicks. And you can see here it gives us access to click element, click class, click ID, click target, click URL, and click text. For something unique like this, I think click ID would be best. But I like to always enable all of these ones because they're very helpful when you're trying to track clicks. And you'll see now that we have access to all these in the data layer variable. So now we're going to jump back into tags, and we're going to set up a tag that's going to fire every time that Instagram button is clicked. So in order to do that, what we want to do is jump into the designer and Webflow, and we want to assign an ID to that button. So down, 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 we're going to click on this button, and then you have the settings tab here, button settings. We're going to just enter IG link here as our ID for referencing that button. And then we're going to click publish again because, you know, it's Webflow. And then back to Google Tag Manager, and we're going to create a new tag. We're going to call this IG click. Our tag configuration is going to be a GA4 event. GA4 events are a little bit different. We already have this set up. This is just our config tag. Events here, all we basically need to do is describe a name. So this is the simple way. We're going to call this an IG, we'll just call this Instagram click. You can add additional parameters here, but for the purposes of this, we just want to know when the button's clicked. Under trigger, well, this is where we're going to add a new one. This is going to be called IG button click. And then we have to go down to click, just links, some links, and then we're going to select click ID contains, and we called it IG link. Now we're going to save that. Okay, so what we see now is that anytime a link is clicked, if the ID of that link is IG link, then it's going to fire this tag. And we're going to test this all and make sure it works. So let's click save. And then once again, we're going to use preview. This opens up our debug version, right? We have to enter our URL again, click connect. All right, so it's going to pull up our website again. What we want to do is check in here to see which tags are fired, right? So far we've got just our config tag. The IG click has not fired yet because we haven't clicked the button, so that's correct. We're going to scroll on down to find that button so we can test it out. All right, there it is. Check our Instagram. We're going to click on that. We don't really need to let the page open, but let's go back over here and look, we see that our event did fire. That is perfect. So now that that's good, we can close out the debug window, jump back into Tag Manager. We're going to submit this. Added Instagram link tracking. We're going to publish that. And then when we jump into our website, again, we're going to refresh the page to make sure that that ID has been added. Now we're going to click on this again. Again, we don't need to open it, but now what we want to do is jump into Google Analytics. And Analytics is going to give us the option to see real time. And under real time, we should be able to see that that event has just fired. So let's jump in here. We're going to click view real time. All right. And then if we scroll down to where the events show up, we'll see, here we go. So we've got all the built-in stuff, page views, click, first visit, session start, and hey, look at that, Instagram click. So our custom event is now firing from within Google Analytics with the help of Google Tag Manager. I hope that all makes sense, and I hope you're able to see how harnessing the power of Google Tag Manager can really give you a lot more power from within Google Analytics. If you like this video, make sure to like it, subscribe for more videos like this, and I hope to see you on the next one.